This is part 2 of the Refcomm webinar, Octane Destruction in FCC Gasoline Post-Treaters. Here I will show some evidence for my claim about octane destruction in gasoline desulfurizers. Gasoline desulfurizers come in different forms. We can look at them as a black box like this. We feed a full-range FCC gasoline and produce desulfurized FCC gasoline. Two main reactions go on inside. They are desulfurization and olefin saturation, which is an inevitable side reaction that destroys octane. To measure performance, we typically measure the ppm total sulfur in the feed and product, the octane number, and the bromine number, which is an indicator of the olefinicity of the stream. In our work, we omit the bromine number and use instead a detailed hydrocarbon type analysis that we call the blood test. The blood test gives very detailed data on the molecular composition of the stream. We also do sulfur speciation, which gives detail on the sulfur compounds in the stream. Here is a layout for a field test you could do in a 3-day period. Looking first at the columns, you change reactor temperature over 4 levels, shown here as cold, cool, warm, and hot. At each temperature, you let the product sulfur line out and measure sulfur, octane, the blood test, and sulfur speciation. You chart your performance curve, which is octane loss versus product sulfur, showing how, as you raise severity and reduce product sulfur, you lose more octane. The red curve here was measured in a field test like this. The orange curve is the ultimate curve, which is also what the industry is expecting as typical. But the orange curve is not typical. It is like the best case scenario. Our data shows U.S. gasoline desulfurizers are much more clustered around the red curve. This difference between the orange and red curves, between expected and actual, is unexpected octane destruction that is very well documented in our reports from many field tests. And this is the biggest reason I disagree with the consensus on industry readiness. The blood test gives a chart of weight percent olefins by carbon number in the feed and the products. In this example from a field test, the dark red is the feed and the bright red is the product. The curves show the olefins are in the carbon numbers 5 to 9 range, with the peak at carbon number 7. This chart shows the reason for octane destruction, which is olefin destruction. The space between the feed and product curve shows directly the olefin destruction that is causing the octane destruction. In this field test, 51% of the FCC olefins were converted to alkanes, causing 7 Ron octane loss. The blood test shows precisely the chemistry that is causing octane destruction. Most of the U.S. octane supply is produced in cat crackers. If you destroy half your cat cracker gasoline olefins, that destroys a large part of your refinery's octane barrel production capacity. Modern tools shine the light on this octane destruction. With performance curve and blood test data from a field test, it was easy for this refinery to quantify the dollar impact of that octane destruction and convincingly justify some capital investment to reduce the octane destruction. When you shine a light on what is happening in your unit, significant improvements can always be achieved, and often with little or no capital investment. You should run a good field test and use these tools to see exactly what is happening in your unit so you can make the right decisions to get sulfur out and save octane. These two diagrams are pictures from our performance curve model, which is a spreadsheet that produces the charts I've been showing. So you can see the performance curve accurately and predict how it will move when you make changes to the process. All you need is a blood test on your feed and this spreadsheet. The performance curve model is included with purchase of Research Report 7, so you will have it for your own use. It's not an annual license, it's a one-time cost included with the purchase of Report 7, which is the middle of the 3 reports I showed earlier today. All of our research reports also include 4 blood tests. So you just send us samples of your feed and product streams, and we will get the analysis done and load the model with your own data. And you will have all the charts I have shown and more. All our research reports also include 6 months of unlimited support by phone and email. I hope you see how valuable this can be in the Tier 3 world, to be able to see, understand, and control what is happening in your gasoline desulfurizer instead of it being a black box to you. This is something that was seen by some very astute people in my client group back in 2014. They saw that their gasoline desulfurizer was an outlier in being a black box process to them. The cap feed hydrotreater and the FCC unit are not black boxes. We have very detailed knowledge and data and understanding of the reactions happening in them, and we use that knowledge all the time to optimize performance. Why is a gasoline desulfurizer a black box to us, where we can't know what's happening inside the process and can't use that knowledge to optimize the unit's performance? That insight was the beginning of our work on this. The performance curve model is a 21st century tool that has been used since 2016 for decision making on Tier 3 strategy, capital investments, licensor and catalyst selection, process design, feed, and cut points. If you have a gasoline desulfurizer, your engineers and planners should certainly have this tool. With an analysis of your feeds in this spreadsheet, you will see and understand what is happening in the unit, make accurate performance estimates, and better decisions for Tier 3 gasoline. Here is another poll question. Is your refinery tight on octane when running at full utilization? Please respond yes, no, or don't know, and we will look at the results in our Q&A period. Thanks a lot for your attention. I'm done presenting now, and the third segment will be the Q&A and discussion segment of our webinar.